We vibe too hard.
So, we're doing something special and different this week. We will be cooking out of the illustrious Guy Fieri's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives cookbook. Specifically this week, the American Chop Suey recipe from Red Arrow Diner on 61 Lowell Street. Mm-hmm. I think we're gonna be cooking out of a lot of chef cookbooks now. So if you guys have any chefs, recipes, books you want us to try out, check out,
Yeah, we want to try more chefs' recipes. I think we're interested in getting into that. Also,
seeing what The Rock is cooking out there.
So Guy Fieri plays a big role in our relationship. Also in your life.
Huge.
You should tell that story.
My first appearance, actually, the first time I was in a film or a show was as an extra in The Waterboy. But my first time on a television show was Guy Fieri's Ultimate Recipe Showdown. And Guy Fieri actually was the one that came up to me and was like, yo, you got chops. And he pounded me mad times with mad rings and was like, yo, you should fucking open a restaurant. And about 5 weeks later, I did. So shouts to Guy Fieri. Very meaningful in my life. Also, one of our first dates was with Guy Fieri.
In Boston
at the Encore.
Yeah. And we went to dinner and we went out and we poured tequila all over everyone.
Sprayed Guy Fieri tequila everywhere.
He signed a bobblehead for me. I was very starstruck.
We'll have to insert Natashia's foot pics that she took with Guy Fieri.
Yeah, before there was a separate bedrooms logo, there was just my foot in photos with Guy Fieri. And he just looks at my foot and he's like, bitch.
But we're really burying the lead. The baby has arrived. The baby is downstairs.
We had the baby.
So
as you're watching this podcast, okay, we're filming this September 12th. My due date was September 11th.
Yep.
We had scheduled to film this episode last Friday.
Yes. You were shopping for the ingredients.
I was shopping at Trader Joe's.
For American Chop Suey.
For American Chop Suey ingredients. And I was walking through Trader Joe's and I started feeling things. And people tell you what labor feels like, but they never tell you what labor feels like. They're like, it could feel like cramps. It could feel like period cramps. Whatever. I thought I might have diarrhea. I was like, maybe I had too much coffee. I don't know. And so I came home and I started telling everyone, I think I'm in labor. I was honestly a little embarrassed, to tell you the truth.
You texted me from Trader Joe's and you were like, yo, I think I'm going to labor.
I was a little embarrassed. I was with my mom at Trader Joe's and she was looking at me and she was like, are you okay? Because typically when you go to Trader Joe's, it's such a fun experience. I'm always looking for new stuff. They have the different, they'll have
helpful,
it's
there's
seasonal.
A lot of aloha.
They'll always have a new thing. There's the ube season, there's whatever. And I was like, are you okay? You're just not into this at all. And I was like, I'm kind of embarrassed. I think I'm in labor. And I was like, I just didn't want to be the person who had the false labor. I didn't want to rile everyone up and get the day all fucked up. Eddie had so many meetings that day. My mom was here. I was like, if I tell somebody and this is not real, I feel like I'm gonna get everyone so excited and they're gonna stop their day. And what if it's not? But we got back to the house. It got just more aggressive throughout the day. I was definitely in labor.
I will tell you, I knew you were in labor because you did not complain the entire pregnancy about the contractions, the Braxton Hicks, is that what it's called?
Hicks, yeah.
You would never bug out. There was no, calling wolf. There was no panic. So when you were like, yo, I think so, I'm like, it's game time.
Yeah.
It's game time.
I think I was in a little bit of denial too, because once it starts, something in your brain, you just know, you're I'm in this crazy race now to the finish line, and this finishes one way with a baby coming out of me. It was
crazy.
It's just crazy. You know that the whole time you're pregnant, of course. But when you're doing it, it's very different. It's almost primal. Your body takes over and you have to just let it go. You have to just surrender in the moment.
And also your training, I have to say, man, I didn't really understand what the hell she was doing for 9 months. Training, and she'd snap at me sometimes if I'd be recommending some food that's just gonna make us rot on the couch. And she was always I'm gonna go for a hike, I'm gonna go for a walk, I'm training. I'm like, what do you mean training? But this woman pushed this baby out so fast. And it was like, when we got home, you'd been in labor. I think you went into labor at 2:00.
Yes.
It was about 2:00.
It was about 2:00. I got home probably like 3.
Yeah.
Because I did still go to Sephora and pick up skincare because I was like, I'm not pushing this baby out without moisturizer, bitch. Like, I need that Tatcha. So I went to Sephora and just like powered through, like felt like I was dying in Sephora, but came home. We called the doula.
Yup.
And I was like, hey, I think I'm in labor. Everyone tells you, your doula, your doctor, everyone tells you your first baby. It's a marathon. You could be in labor for 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. There's women that have labored for 4 days. So.
And I have to say, this doula was at another delivery. All right? So we call this doula.
Which is normal.
Which is normal.
She's in demand. She's a good doula.
She's in demand.
She's busy. She's booked and busy.
Yo, but I have a slightly different opinion about the doula's advice. Because the doula, we told her, we're like, yo, she's in labor, and you started to keep track of the time between contractions.
Yes.
And she was like, yo, you're early. I'm going to go home. I'm going to eat food, shower, change. And I'm like, I get that. I get it. Yeah. But I was like, yo, her contractions were between 1.5 minutes and 3 minutes apart for about...
No, they were 3 to 5.
3 to 5?
Yeah, it was 3 to 5 at that point.
I feel like you're covering for the doula.
I'm not covering for her, but I was doing I was doing 3 to 5 minutes apart, and they were like 45 seconds each. And for me, it just progressed from that point extraordinarily fast.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like if that's where you're at in your contractions and in your labor, you have time. Like I understood. Even Dr. Rad was like, okay, like there's time. He didn't realize he ended up like coming to the hospital in his pajamas, but
yes,
everyone thought there was so much time because it's my first baby, because of the contractions, because it was like 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. was just...
I will say I knew there was not that much time. Because I was watching you and I was like, yo, she's in pain.
I didn't know. I thought that maybe I was just, my pain tolerance was very low, that I was maybe just not... I had expectations that I had a high pain tolerance and that I would be okay. And I would be able to body this. But I was like, man, like people tell you. And I was like, this is some shit though. This is not what I was expecting. I think it's just the frequency at which my contractions started happening. If they were happening 7 minutes apart, 10 minutes apart, I could have done it all day.
Full disclosure, I think I was just also tight with the doula because we were going into like active labor and she was like, hey, do you mind if I use your car charger? Do you mind like moving your car? I was like, yo, you should have fucking charged your goddamn car before you can. I don't have fucking time for this shit.
Well, it's high stress, high pressure.
It was high stress.
I'm literally going through a checklist with my mom on like an Excel spreadsheet. I'm like, oh, the candles. I'm like, my maternity underwear, like, yeah, my pajamas, like they're over here, like, packing my bag last minute because I straight up was at the doctor's the night before.
Your mom at one point turned to me and goes, Eddie, we need 24 AA batteries and 16 AAAs. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, if you don't want to get them, I can go get them. I'm like, no. Like, yo, we can call DoorDash.
Because everyone tells you, they're like, when you're, like, the shit that you pack in your bag for labor is hilarious now that I've been through it. Unless you're getting induced or like you're scheduling a C-section or something, like don't fucking bother with the flameless candles. Yeah. Okay, like setting the ambiance in your room, the flameless candles, the playlist, the this, the that. Like we got there was no time to set up a fucking flameless candle. No. I was under fluorescent lights because I got there. I was pushing when I got there. My body, like, and they don't tell you this either. The pushing, you don't have control over it.
Yo, like, again though, she's saving the doula here. So the doula comes.
Okay, and we'll backtrack.
The doula goes, oh look, your contractions are now not 3 to 5 minutes. They're 7 minutes in between contractions. That's because your doula's here and your body's relaxing now and you're not stressed. We're so early in this process.
Which makes sense. Of course I relaxed when the professional came. You know what I mean? Like I'm a hypochondriac.
I have a different theory about this. I really feel what
do you think that I'm just like...
Here's the thing. It's like, you know when you're like... Because I was watching you. She was laying down, trying to thug it out with these contractions.
I really was.
And focusing. And then when the doula came, the doula's talking to her. You're like thinking about other things. So you're not as in tune with your body. It's just
that's
like
true.
When someone comes over, you're just like, oh, you perk up. And like things that you would feel quietly alone on a bed... You're not feeling in the presence of someone else.
No, for sure. Because I said that to her too. I was like, we had been watching my best friend's wedding for, I don't know how long, it was a 90-minute movie. So for 90 minutes, I was in the bath, we got on the bed, and we were watching my best friend's wedding. And through that, I was okay. I think it was funny, like you were making jokes. Every time I was in between a contraction, you feel euphoric, you feel great. Like you don't feel any pain between them. So like I'm laughing at the movie, I'm having a good time. And when she got there, I remember telling her, I was like, now that we're talking, I feel so much better. Like now that I'm sitting and talking, it's taking my mind off of it. Yeah. And she did say that. She was like, distraction is a huge part of labor. So that's what's happening. She was like, I told you that weeks ago that, you know, part of this is distracting yourself and acting like everything's normal and just going about your day.
So here's what I will say then. So that all happened. We have and I disagreed with the analysis. And the doula was like, you're so early in this. We have so much time. Go sleep. Everybody relax. Yeah. We're all good. And maybe 45 minutes later, we laid down to watch Planet Earth, David Attenborough. Because I was like, David Attenborough will calm a bitch down.
For sure.
Super calming, super like family vibes. So I was like, let's David Attenborough it up. 45 minutes into an episode of Planet Earth, I just see you crying. Yeah. Just tears streaming down and shaking. Like this crying. I'm like, yo. I told this fucking doula. Yeah. So I run upstairs. I'm like, yo, she's shaking. And she goes, oh, she's transitioning to the next phase. I was like, I know this. Like, I read the order of operations online. And like, it was about, from the minute I told the doula, we were in the car within 15 to 20 minutes. Yeah. Because once she checked on you, she even knew like, oh, it's go time.
Well, she came downstairs. So I had been laying in bed and I had like a pillow between my legs and just TMI, they tell like your mucus plug breaks, right? Which is just like a little bit of fluid comes out of you. And that's not your water. And everyone told me your water breaking is very rare. That rarely happens. So I'm laying in bed and I get up when the doula comes back down after he got her. And she was like, I want you to go to the bathroom and put a finger inside you and tell me what you feel. And at this point, I'm like in so much pain. I'm shaking. She's like, no, it's good that you're shaking. I'm literally shaking. I'm like freaking out at this point. I'm like, am I having a panic attack or is this normal? And so I go to the bathroom and I'm like, oh my God, my water broke. There's just like water everywhere. And I was like, fuck. At this point, I can feel my body like pushing. It's just a reflex that takes over. And I think in my case, I just progressed very quickly. This isn't normal. I don't think that that's normally how fast things go. But, so she's like, put a finger inside. And I'm like, I'm putting a finger inside of me. And she's like, what do you feel? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't
enter the void.
I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to feel. Like, it doesn't feel normal. It feels very like swollen. And so she's like literally just picking out clothes from my closet. She's like, where are your sweatpants? Like, do you have a dress? I was like, I don't care. Like, just give me something to wear. We get in the car and you know when actually I have no idea how to even explain this. I literally couldn't sit. I was bracing myself in the car. And the whole time, it was an 18-minute drive to the hospital. I remember looking at the GPS. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. This baby, like the pressure, my body was pushing him out.
You started yelling about 5 minutes. We got about halfway down the canyon. Yeah. And you started yelling, he's coming. Yeah. He's coming. It was so funny. Because it was like, you know, like when you're panicked, you just try to use every language you can and you go, he's coming. You were pointing, I'm like, bitch, I know where he's coming out of.
I don't even remember this. I just remember you were playing, we made a birthing playlist. Yeah. And it's like, we made it funny.
I did play Dipset, I'm Ready. I played I'm Ready, Rick Ross, Push It. And when it got to Fabulous Breathe, you were so pissed off.
I was like, this is pissing me off now. And so we pull up to the hospital. There was like red lights at one point. And you started stopping at the fucking red lights, and I was like, you need to go. I was like, I don't care if you get a ticket. I don't care if we get pulled over. They can deal with it at the valet. Like, we need to go.
Then I just ran all the shits. Yeah, so like, big shout out to Porsche Taycan. Honestly, incredible vehicle. If you're driving your wife to the hospital,
got us down the hill quick.
Really highly recommend the Porsche Taycan.
So got to the hospital.
If you're a doula, I highly recommend charging your goddamn car before you come to somebody's house who's in active labor.
you're
because her husband may just be too ornery to put your car on the fucking charger.
Yeah, you were having a bit of like an attitude, and I was like, you need to chill the fuck out because it's stressing me out. Like you can't be beefing with the doula.
Unprofessional. This is unprofessional.
Yeah, and I'm just like literally trying to eat like chicken and rice. Everyone's like, have a meal. I'm like, okay, like in so much pain.
And I'm over here. You really should have charged your car before you came over here.
So we get to the hospital. I'm literally, I don't even know what's going on. We're like, they walk you through the emergency waiting room. And I was like, you can't, I was like, don't leave me here. I'm gonna start screaming. I'm gonna push a baby out in front of a bunch of people in a waiting room. So at this point, I'm like telling them, I'm like, no. I'm not checking in. You need to just get the fucking room ready and you can check me in later. We go upstairs to labor and delivery. At this point...
This is how fast we went. I drove the car into fucking valet. I just give the key. I'm like, yo, whatever it is, homie. And then I grabbed 5 bags out of the car because you were like the most prepared person to ever go into labor.
But I didn't even know that you were behind me.
Yeah.
While we were on the wheelchair, I didn't even know you were there, let alone you had the bag.
Because I just told the nurse in the front of the emergency room, I was like, she's going and she's pushing, baby's coming, and she got the wheelchair, got you in. I grabbed all the bags and just started running with you. And I looked back and your mom was still arranging her purse in the car. And I was like, Paula, it's too late. I'll see you fucking after. And we just went in the elevator.
Yeah, and so we get up there. We get into a room.
We can never do anything just chill. Like, it's never fucking chill.
It's never normal. It's never, like, a chill experience. We get into the room, and I'm like, I, like, rip my clothes off. I was
bugging out because it was room number 4, and I was just like...
Yeah, very superstitious.
But my mom said it's cool.
I get on the table, and they look at me, and the way this works... Women know, I'm sure, but men might not know. You can be 1 to 10 centimeters dilated. And what that basically means is like how much the baby is like if you're 10 centimeters dilated, you're all the way ready to push. If you're 1 centimeter dilated, you're not. Yeah. You're not even starting labor.
You got on the table and they just said 9, and everyone's face just started going. Yeah, and I was like, oh, 9's big. That's a big number.
They were like, yeah, you're ready to push, and so. And I was like, my body is pushing. I can't help it. And they asked me if I wanted the epidural. They were like, technically you have time. You can get an epidural whenever, but you're already pushing. So, and at that point, I was blacked out.
You were blacked out. You started going, you go, somebody just make the decision. And
I was like, I don't know. I was like, I literally don't know. What would you guys do? Like, you're the professionals. Like, if I'm already pushing, do I just continue to push? Like, what's going on? And we're calling my doctor, and they're like, you don't have time. Like, you need to get here. He shows up in his pajamas. He's literally running through the hospital in his pajamas. He's like, I'm here. And then he got there, and I think, honestly, to me, time was sped up and slowed down simultaneously. It made no sense. I might as well have entered a black hole. And I think within like 10 pushes, the baby was here. It was fucking insane. Eddie literally was like eyes on the scenario the entire time. Like, there was 3 people. My legs are open here. There's 3 people, and Eddie was one of them. And I was so impressed. I was just like, damn, like, you're good. You were in it. You were like talking to me. You were coaching me. You're like, push. And I was just like,
fun.
I did not expect that.
I even had time to turn to the doctor and go, do you concur? Like, catch me if you can.
Yeah, you straight up, like, you were Leo in Catch Me If You Can.
We're going to send all the photos. We're going to include the Dr. Ed photos, the Dr. Rad photos. Mm-hmm. Shouts to our doula. She was actually phenomenal in the emergency room. I highly recommend.
She was incredible. I would not have been able to get through it without her. The way that she coached me through pushing, the way that she just had me focus and breathe, because it really is something else that takes over you when you're in that moment, especially if you don't have meds, if you've never done this before, and it happens that fast. She held the fort down for us.
She did a great job. I will give this doula immense credit in a few aspects. Her coaching of the pushing was incredible. Like,
her preparing us for birth.
Yeah, and her, like, she was like feeding you ice to like help you chill out.
Yeah, she had like a cold compress on me.
Yeah. Once it was game time, it was fly, you know? Once her car got charged up, she was phenomenal.
Well, I think it was just high stress for everybody.
Yeah.
if I were to have another child, this would be my team for sure. I wouldn't change anyone.
Wouldn't change
I would keep everyone. And
yeah, I hope you wouldn't change the husband.
No, I wouldn't at all.
Yeah.
You were amazing.
Thank you, babe.
Like you really were amazing. I've seen videos of dads like passing out, not even watching, just being in the room and passing out. And you were like, you caught the baby.
Yeah.
You like took him out of me
the baby out.
and handed him to me, and I was just like,
it was game time.
Shit. But yeah, now baby's here, and it's like the most incredible thing I've ever experienced in my life. I'm so in love, and like I could cry thinking about it. Like he's downstairs, and I miss him.
It was the most athletic shit I've seen. This woman pushed the baby
so
out
much.
in 55 minutes with no epidural.
I mean,
I was
the
like,
most perfect
the Knicks have never done anything this good.
You're right. They
Like
haven't.
I watched the Knicks for like 40 years. Never seen anything this athletic from the Knicks.
Women are just incredible.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to women in general.
Athletically.
That shit is wild. Like, it is so humbling and it really shakes you to your core. I think about it now that it's over. Like, I'll just, like, be awake in bed or whatever. And I'm like, that is just...
It's crazy business.
The craziest thing that could ever happen.
Can I talk about this dish for 2 seconds?
Absolutely.
Okay? This
Get into
dish...
it.
What's it called? I freaked out only 2 things. All right. It said to stir fry the onions, the peppers, the garlic, and the meat all together. I didn't do that. I stir fried the onions, the peppers, the garlic together, set it on the side, then did the meat so the meat juices run dry and they don't get picked up by the aromatics, because I don't like when like soggy beef juice is all up in the onions. That's the only change I made. They also told us to put this tomato paste in. This is very, very tomatoey. I don't know if I would make something this tomatoey, but we'll see. Like Guy Fieri could really fucking surprise us, because it is Guy Fieri. He doesn't miss.
He truly doesn't miss.
You know, contrary to what the New York Times said about Guy Fieri's Times Square restaurants, for me, he doesn't miss.
Yeah.
You know, but...
He really does his thing, especially I feel like with this type of food, this is his pocket.
This is his pocket.
Like,
and meeting him in
delicious
person,
and
he's
naughty.
one of the funniest, like, he's really just a good fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, you would think that some of the other, like, chefs on TV are bigger party boys. I think Guy Fieri and Emerald is probably the #1 chefs that I would want to party with.
Emerald surprises, like, I don't know if he is a huge party guy, but it would surprise me if he was. Guy, I feel I'm getting what I expected.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can party.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of cocaine, a lot of tequila, a lot of fucking fist bumps. Yeah.
Yeah, like he just brings
vibe.
good energy. He's like he's a good time. He's happy. It's like fun to be around his energy.
I love Guy Fieri.
Sure.
I met Emerald on Top Chef New Orleans, and that dude, Emerald's ill.
Yeah.
He's just like an OG, very, very fun to be around. I'm a huge Emerald fan.
I feel like he is the best at what he does, like TV chef vibes.
Yeah.
Like there's no one better to watch. He just is entertaining. I could watch him cook anything.
Dude.
You first, Emerald second.
Thank you, baby.
I would like to watch you cook
appreciate
more.
that. I appreciate that.
But
yeah, baby. Wait, we've had a baby for what, 4 days now? 5 days?
4 full days. Because he came at 2 a.m. So
Incredible.
4 full days. It's crazy. I mean, there's nothing I can say besides it's the best thing that I've ever done, and this is the most fun I've ever had, and I'm like so happy. It's insane. I didn't think I could be this happy. Like everything is so fun to me. I like love LA now. We were driving from our pediatrician appointment, and I was looking around, and I'm like, this place is beautiful. It's amazing here. Like, let's go sit somewhere. It's stunning. What a beautiful day.
We don't regret telling Charlotte Dubuque to have a baby at all.
No, Charlotte, please have a baby.
Yep.
Like, I love LA. I'm so excited.
Instantly,
the sun comes out, and I'm like, oh, an amazing time. It's stunning here.
Incredible. What a lovely place, Los Angeles.
What do you think? Like, do you think, and I guess it's really only been 4 days, and I don't know how I would even answer this question, but do you think this has changed you already at all? Because I feel like it has changed me, but I don't know how to articulate it yet.
Okay.
It's just a deep.
I would
like
like. I really would like to know. Yeah. Sorry
shifted.
to talk over you. Like, I would love to know how you feel changed.
I just feel like so much purpose. Like there's just nothing I wouldn't do for this baby.
Yeah.
And everything is fun to me. I'm like having the best time. And I just feel like it's not about me anymore. I think it's that shift. It's selflessness versus selfishness. Like maybe I would have cared that I'm missing out on something. I just don't feel that at all anymore. Like there's literally nothing that I could be missing out on that is more interesting or important to me ever in the world.
I'm going to respond to this because I love what you just said. I'm about to butter this pasta like I saw Ralph Cifaretto do on The Sopranos. When you make pasta and you got red sauce,
you have to butter it.
Do the Ralph Cifaretto, butter up that pasta.
I love buttered pasta.
I really mean it when I say it was first the most athletic thing I've seen, but like it has been really ill to watch your arc as a person and an individual from the day on New Year's when we found out you were pregnant.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like you were literally out till, like I passed out at like 2 a.m. that night.
Yeah.
And you stayed out till like 4:35.
Which I never do. And I did because my New Year's resolution was to like be more social and like give LA more of a chance and like really try. And so that was like the first time I went out and like partied in LA.
Yeah.
And then came home and found out I was pregnant.
Yeah. And I'll say this is that, you know, I'm 41 and I chose to move to LA and my work is here. And, you know, I got homies here. It's not New York, you know.
Yeah.
But I have felt bad for a while because you moved out here for me. And let's be honest, it's a struggle for both of us. This is a really different mode of socializing, of being, for all the reasons we've complained about this city and the way it is and, you know, the social strata. But I will say for me, it has been very, very satisfying. Like, it makes me happy to see, because I came to LA because I was like, this is a better place to have a family.
Yeah.
And so I've thought about it for several years.
Yeah.
And then you came in, I don't know if you were in the same spot. And then over the course of the 9 months, like, we've arrived. But when I watched you do it, I didn't really have time to be excited. Yeah. I didn't cry. I wasn't scared. I was like, I have a job to do, so I got to do this. But as soon as it happened, my internal vibe, the best example of it is like when a football player scores a touchdown and it's just like on one knee, like not even being funny. It's just
like
immense
not the
gratitude.
celebratory like dance. It's just like the
there was no like spiking of the ball. Like there's that boy in me kind of left the building because watching you deliver the baby, it looked like alien shit, and you looked like you were in so much pain and you were fighting through. And all I could think about was how grateful I was for you. And how humbled I was by nature.
Yeah,
and
it is very humbling.
This is truly a gift that, like, I will be thankful my entire life existence for.
Yeah,
and
same.
That's the way I think I've changed. It's like, you know, certain little things. I think for a large part of my life, I've been distracted by how people move. I'm always like, why are you doing that? That's not fair. This is weird. That's whack. You know what? And honestly, since the baby's come, it's not that I don't have time to like stare at Instagram and dislike everything. I'm more just like, yo, we all move the way we move. Our lessons come when they come. And like, there are very universal things about life.
Yes.
Like, that's the thing about the baby thing. I'm just like, yo, I don't care if I don't feel this need to explain or tell people shit anymore. I'm just like, yo, you'll see it when you see it.
Yeah.
This undeniable shit.
There's definitely, I feel more present and grounded because there's no distractions. And this could just be that it's the first 4 days of parenthood for me. And I'm like, just feeding, rocking, changing diapers, doing that on repeat. But yeah, I'm so present. I'm not distracted. I'm not thinking about other things. I'm not scrolling my phone. I'm not doing any of that. I'm like in the moment, in my body, trying to soak in. Oh my God, that smells amazing.
Yeah,
trying to soak in
me,
every minute of him being this size because it changes so fast.
Yeah.
He's already, like, it's 4 days and I'm like, he's bigger. He's changed. Like, I can see his face is changing. Like,
yeah.
It's just crazy.
It's gonna go fast.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just grateful, humble, appreciative. And if you told me even 3 years ago that I would be doing a podcast with my wife that masquerades as a cooking show, but is actually about like our journey together and this baby journey, like parenting, like who knew I would do like a parenting podcast?
I know.
But like,
Same.
It's what matters in life. Like, all y'all cool motherfuckers out there, I'm just telling you, this is the important shit. This is the fulfilling shit. Like, go out there, have the fucking fun, do all the things, be the greatest at whatever you want to be the greatest at. But just remember, like, come home. Like, you got to come home. You got, like, you don't have to have kids, but, like,
yeah, whatever
do some
your
shit
family.
that's, like, great, you know, makes you grateful and humble.
Yeah, I agree.
Family's important. However you do family.
Yeah.
You know,
there's a million ways to do it, yeah. But it is transformative, for sure. And
Yeah.
I think it's just, it's gonna be cool. Like, this is so new for us. I'm so excited to see how it all progresses and like the journey we go on and
Yeah. And
just
I'll
like
caveat,
month to month,
yeah.
you know?
I'll caveat this for anyone who like can't have kids, doesn't want to have kids, whatever. Like, throw everything we say out the window. This just applies to us. It applies to our lives in this pod.
Yeah.
But like,
We've
whatever,
wanted this though for a really long time. Like, we've wanted a family and kids. So for us, it's something we've sought out.
This is what we sought out. Whatever makes you feel whole and feel like family, do that shit.
For sure.
That's what I would say, you know? And without any further ado, Guy Fieri's American Chop Suey.
Yes. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
I mean, this looks insane.
Let's try. We had news, but honestly, I think this episode is gonna be chop suey,
talk about
pregnancy. This is fire. I was gonna get some Parmesan and hot sauce, but I feel like after going to Dr. Molly and Dr. Ed, we're gonna keep it just to this recipe.
Yeah, so we're trying to eat super, super healthy right now.
We've been eating all the bone broths like my parents and your mom has made.
Yeah, so Eddie's parents came through with the most amazing soup, beef noodle soup, to the hospital for me.
They did a clear broth, beef noodle soup.
That's probably good.
Was incredible with oxtail and shank. Mm-hmm. It was fire.
Yeah, my mom's been making avolemino, like Greek soup. We've just been eating, we've been eating super, super healthy because you're not sleeping when you have a baby. So we were like, let's prioritize food. And we've been heavy on the Erewhon juice, heavy on the bone broths and soups. I haven't even had like a late night ice cream moment.
We haven't eaten no ice cream. I thought I would be like celebrating, you know, and doing shit.
Like eating crazy. We did order, so I gave birth at 2 a.m. and then everything happens. They get you in your room and you're finally settled. That was around like 5 a.m. and we ordered just like chocolate chip pancakes and all this crazy shit.
Yeah, we ordered cancers.
Yeah, we went in, but like much deserved, and you should. And then we shut it down. We were like, health is wealth. And now we're eating this, which is like a little bit naughty, but
not even really. Like, Guy Fieri kind of came through with this. The only thing naughty in here for me is like macaroni, which is fine. It's not gluten-free, but I'm feeling this dish. I had one taste of it.
okay.
Needs a little more salt. That's all I would say. Oh, they did say this. This one, I forgot. They said to add a hint of sugar, which we will add through agave.
Okay.
Just a touch. There you go.
Yeah, I feel like that might set it off.
That's going to set it off.
All right, let's mix that in.
Touch of agave. This is my first time seasoning this, so I maybe had under seasoned, but
The agave did it.
yeah.
Like I would even add maybe a little bit more. I'm not going to, personally. Just like I'm breastfeeding, you know?
Yeah.
But if you make this, definitely I would go a little harder on the agave because it really does set it off.
Yeah, and if you're, not breastfeeding, you don't give a fuck, I would throw some jalapenos in this. I would chop up some jalapenos.
Parm for sure.
Yeah, I would do the parm.
This is good though. This is good otherwise. I'm still enjoying it. This feels like your like dope auntie made this and came through to like your backyard function. Mm-hmm. And like made it hot. It came in hot, served immediately. It just reminds me of like being outside, being by a pool, like maybe like mild 4th of July vibes, maybe because it's like very American.
Yeah, this is fly shit. Yeah. Honestly, Guy Fieri don't miss. When it says an American Chop Suey, I was like, this is a fucking joke. Like, this is crazy. But when you taste it, you're like, oh, I get what they're saying. This is like an American twist on Chop Suey. It's very much like if you go to Memphis and you get barbecue spaghetti.
Yes, yeah.
Or like Cincinnati, you get Skyline chili. This is better than Cincinnati chili. I have to say that.
I've never had Cincinnati chili. But it does feel like if there was more of like a broth to this, it would be a chili. Mm-hmm. Like it's like chili without like soup, I guess.
Like when we go to Mayor's house, I'm bringing this because it's very like an offshoot of Coney Island chili. Like how he like a Coney dog.
Yeah.
This is kind of like similar.
Would that just be meat sauce on the hot dog? Mm-hmm. That's so fire. Mm-hmm. I like this though.
Yeah. I'm into this.
It's not something we would like eat usually, but it's fun.
And in a funny way, they call it American Chop Suey. But the way my mom made spaghetti was kind of like this. Mm-hmm. Like she just put it on spaghetti.
Yeah. Just like a meat sauce with veggies like on spaghetti, yeah. There's, I guess it's like everyone has their own version of bolognese. Like their own meat sauce that they use on their spaghetti. In their family, I feel like families have specific recipes that they do. Like we did one, and I don't even know what it would be comped to.
All right, you know what I would do with this dish? I would add some jalapenos to make it naughtier and dirtier. Then I would mix it all up with big shaved chunks of Parmesan, and then bake it in the oven with shaved Parmesan on top. Mm-hmm. So it's like a baked ziti with baked American Chop Suey. That would go crazy.
I would make, cheesy as fuck. Yeah, I like cheese. I like a cheese pull. I like a cheesy nacho. I would want to cheese this out. Mm-hmm. And then that would be incredible to me. But I really like this. This it's kind of like refreshing without the cheese and the jalapeno, like in a weird way. It's a meat sauce. It is heavy, but it's like, again, like it reminds me of summer.
I fuck with it.
But I like your Leon vibe. You came through looking like Leon from Curb. We're about to be living in bathrobes. So if you have like a baller bathrobe recommendation, my main priority right now for like shopping is baby stuff. And I want to find the most luxurious, incredible bathrobe to live out the next month in.
Speaking of product, I almost forgot. This product has changed my life, and they're the new advertiser on the pod, Magic Mind. All right? So I'll tell you guys this. I haven't been getting much rest since the 3rd trimester. I had a lot of work to do, been working on some stuff. Mm-hmm. And coffee was getting me too dehydrated and cracked out, and also activates my IBS. So I was drinking like 3 to 5 espressos a day.
Yeah, crazy.
I got sent this Magic Mind, and Magic Mind doesn't replace your caffeine. It like it's almost like helps your caffeine do better for you.
It's like a supplement. I feel like you like digest your caffeine better. And it like, you know how you have spikes with coffee where you like have a coffee, then you're shaking and then you crash? I feel like with the Magic Mind supplement, it's like you have your coffee and you have a steady flow of energy throughout the day.
Yeah.
It's very steady.
This is crazy. I don't know if the company wants me to say this, but this is the best analogy I could give you. If coffee is Molly, Magic Mind is acid. So you candy flip it. And it's like, you know how like when you on Molly and sometimes it's a little too speedy and you get lockjaw, you start fucking grinding your teeth. Like I lost a canine, like part of my canine once. But then if you do like a tab or you do some shrooms, your vibe starts to chill out. and now you're on cruise control. That's what Magic Mind has literally been doing for me. I'm more focused. I don't have caffeine spikes.
Yeah.
I'm not dehydrated. This thing has matcha in it, ashwagandha, and also this like really popular herb.
Yeah, it's like Rhodelius rosea. And then there's also lion's mane, which is just great for cognitive function. I take lion's mane all the time if I really need to focus and like get a lot of work done because I have ADD, and it's the natural answer instead of taking something like Adderall. You take lion's mane, and it's in there, and it really does help you focus. For me, you relate it to drugs. I relate it to just having like the most amazing matcha I've ever had. That just perfect dose of caffeine, where you're just riding the nicest wave. No spikes, no dips. Just
it's
like
got mad adaptogens in it. But
it's
I would
good
say
for you.
this, it is the thing that levels out your caffeine.
Yeah.
Keeps you focused and relieves a lot of stress and anxiety. Like,
it's great for us too, like new parents. I feel like it's perfect. I'm breastfeeding. I probably shouldn't be having that much coffee, and I love a ritual in the morning. So it's kind of nice to just have something and pour in a glass to replace coffee, and you still get a good feeling.
Yeah, I want to say this. It's for me. It replaces 2/3 of my caffeine usage. This is how I use it.
Yeah.
It replaces 2/3 of my caffeine usage because it keeps me from spiking, it keeps me from falling, and it keeps me centered. And I highly recommend this product. The best part is there's a money back guarantee, and with our code Separate Bedrooms 20, you get 56% off. So try this shit. Support the pod, support Magic Mind, but honestly, support yourself. I really, really think you're gonna love this product. We get a lot of offers for ads. We don't do them all. We try the product first.
Yeah.
Magic Mind, I fuck with it.
It's incredible.
Is there any give me like one or two, three news.
There's actually like some news we can talk about.
I don't really have much to say. I will say congrats. Nelly and Ashanti are back together. I love that for them. Ashanti bin fly. All right. Ashanti was one of those shorties back in the day that you knew she was thick just from looking at the knees. I was like, yo, her knees are thick.
Yeah.
Like, I remember going to MTV because my boy worked there and Ashanti was on one day. And we were just like, yo, Ashanti is crazy.
But she's aged.
She's kept it together.
Yes, she has aged
She's
incredibly. So I'm not sure how old she is. I saw a photo of her and I was like, damn. I was like, she looks good.
Ashanti bad. Nelly came back.
Yeah.
Like,
I love a reunion.
Love it.
Especially after summer breakups. I feel like every celebrity couple has broken up this summer. But Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner stepped out at the US Open looking, I think, cute as fuck. I think they're cute. I'm into it.
And I do like that Kylie is like off her whatever fashion she's been doing, like the Balenciaga, like the how do you pronounce it? Marsigny, you know?
Yeah. She's been doing like a lot of like Mugler, and she's been doing a lot of like, she always kept it like kind of
turbo.
Yeah, like she was giving the most elevated IMG girl you could possibly be. Like she was doing like couture IMG.
And now she's like taking a page out of Chris's playbook, and I'm like, this is a better look for you.
She's in her cottagecore era. It's kind of fly.
Yeah.
She's in like flowy dresses.
Yeah.
I think she looks good. Everyone was like, she looks like his mom. And I'm like, she looks like a hot fucking stepmom.
Oh, you're saying cottagecore? No, when they were at the US Open, she looked like she was in like a Kris Jenner like turtleneck and sunglasses kind of a thing.
Oh, yeah, she was doing that. But she's been like, I've been like creeping her Instagram, and she's been doing like doe-in floral dresses. She's like having picnics in France and like making pizza in Italy. It's really cute. I'm into it. She's a hot mom, and everyone's like, she looks like a stepmom. And I'm like, yeah, because he looks 12. That's not her. She's hot. He looks 12. They're cute.
I just like when celebrities aren't doing exactly what is hot and popping and every stylist is trying to do. Like, be idiosyncratic, do your own thing. And I'm like, I kind of like this. She's just like in her mom's bag. Cottagecore is like unexpected for her. I like that.
Yeah, I'm into it.
I'd rather some unexpected fashion.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, paper straws, horrible for you. Stop using them. Just go back to plastic. There's like forever chemicals in paper straws that are horrible for you. You shouldn't be using them. I don't know if we've resolved the plastic straw issue. They said paper straws and bamboo straws they're out. They're bad.
You're not gonna like this. I don't fuck with straws. I just don't need straws unless I'm drinking boba tea. And then, like, I would gladly give up boba to save the planet. I'm just not a straw person. But, like, that's more dude-ish. You know what I mean?
I'm a glass straw at home. Like, I enjoy glass. I like a straw. I do. There's certain drinks. There's certain drinks that I want to drink out of a straw. Like, if I'm out and I get a nice coffee, I want a straw. A matcha, I want a straw. A Diet Coke with, like, in a fountain soda cup, I want a straw. Like, movie, I'm not going to be up in a movie, like, not having a straw. It's just not going to happen. Like, I want to save the planet. I really want to save the planet, but I do feel like we should have technology that we can just, like, make a straw that's not plastic, that is environmentally safe and doesn't have forever chemicals in it. Like, I feel like we're at that point, and it's a little disappointing that we're not.
I'm convinced we have the tech to clean up the earth and do everything the right way, but because these companies make a ton of money selling us trash, they're just going to keep doing it. It's
the same old shit, you know? You know.
I feel like there was some other news.
There's a lot of other news. I mean, Danny Masterson got...
Oh, my God.
Sentenced to, I think it's 30 years to life, potentially, in his rape case, which is insane that happened. It's incredibly hard to take a case like that to trial because there needs to be an overwhelming amount of evidence so it doesn't turn into a he said, she said with these things. So I think it's clear what has happened. There's a lot of controversy right now. I think Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis stepped out and they wrote a letter in his defense just claiming that he's a good guy. They had an amazing experience working with him on that 70s show and that he's just a good guy. And I mean, the internet is tearing them apart, rightfully so. Kind of fucked up. Like, you can know somebody as a good person and they can still be horrible in their life to other people and they can still be a rapist or an abusive person or, you know what I mean? Like, everyone gets a different side. And I don't think...
Yeah, and usually you do get another side. Like, most people aren't going to show that side.
Right, to everybody.
The bad man shit, like, they're not going to show it.
Yeah.
Funny enough, he showed it to Conan O'Brien. You know, like...
Yeah.
When he's on the Conan O'Brien show, he tells a joke about balls, and Conan is like, yo, dude, like, you're going to get in trouble for that. You're going to get caught one day. And that's been circulating. That's been very interesting. I'll say this, as a former attorney who worked at the Innocence Project, my job there was to try to locate DNA evidence through kits, like rape kits, to get people, you know, to reopen the case and see if they were innocent. That is a great program. It has to exist. There are so many wrongful convictions.
Yeah.
On the other side, I will say, to convict someone of this standing with this sort of financial backing is quite hard to convict.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have quite a bit of evidence.
Right, that's what I had always thought. It's like the evidence needs to be overwhelming to get it to the point to which you're in trial, right?
Yeah, and I will also say a lot of women who are victims of sexual assault do not want to talk about it. They do not want to participate in the trial. So
it also takes time. Some people don't realize in the moment, or there's an element of, I don't want to say denial, but it takes time to kind of realize what happened to you and like that it was a situation where abuse was had.
Yeah. Like, I know like a lot of people is frustrated with like cancellation in the like woke school universe we live in, but I will say this, man. When there are multiple women and someone's convicted through our court system, that is not an easy thing to do. There's quite a bit of evidence.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's all I got to say on it.
On a lighter note, Aaron Rodgers
fucked
his shit up, guys.
Yo, pray for Jets fans.
Fucked his shit up.
Pray for all the Jet fans. This dude lasted 4 snaps. All right?
What's a snap for like the people like me?
Hike. You know, like 4 plays.
Got it.
The dude got 0 yards. His Achilles exploded. And now,
that's,
you know.
So explain to me, like, I know an Achilles, that's pretty serious. Is he out for the season?
Out for the season.
Done.
And it can be like your career.
That's crazy.
That can be your career. Like, Kobe never really got back to Kobe after the Achilles.
When did he snap his Achilles? At what point in his career?
Achilles out, I believe, 2 years before his final year.
Damn.
So I think Kobe had 2 years after the Achilles. Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback. You can make it back, but the Jets season is on life support right now.
That's
and like
crazy.
Jet fans, like my man Raph has been waiting 30, 40 years to be this excited for a Jets season.
Oh no.
And then I believe he had some chores to do in the house. Missed the first quarter of the game. By the time he turned it on, Aaron Rodgers was dead.
That's devastating.
The Jets season was basically over. I gotta say, Raph, I love you, dog. You should have watched the game. You should watch the game.
That's devastating. Like, I couldn't imagine if one of my girls got taken out of the Real Housewives, like, new season episode 1. And I was like, she's that bitch. And then she got, like, arrested and I wasn't watching or some shit. I'd be like, fuck.
Like, bro, you kind of needed to be there for your team.
That's wild. So, okay, he's out. What does this mean? Like, is there a backup? Is there, like,
the backup's terrible.
What
this
happens?
Guy, Zach Wilson, who is just a straight Bummingtonian. Like,
damn.
Terrible bum.
Damn. Fuck.
The Jets are looking at some of the old Commanders quarterbacks like Carson Wentz. It's that dark.
I don't know who Carson
Remember the quarterback for the Commanders last year I was yelling at and throwing shit at the television?
Sure.
That's Carson Wentz.
For sure. Mm-hmm. But like in the most incredible situation, the Commanders played Sunday. The Raiders played Sunday. Commanders is his team. Raiders is our Dr. Drew,
the Raiders
our fam.
and Jets is my second, third team because my friends like them.
Yeah, but
so
the Commanders and the Raiders came through back-to-back wins on Sunday. We had our first football Sunday at the house with our baby. It was amazing. We just hung out and watched football.
Senna's good luck.
Both our teams won. It was amazing.
Senna's also an IBS baby. We got to announce.
Wait.
Senna came out. He pooped on himself.
Yes, he pooped on himself. Also, my mom just texted me. He pooped.
Oh.
We were waiting for him to poop.
Big poop. He pooped on the pod. Like father, like son.
Yeah, and he has the stinkiest farts. And he just be farting all the time. I'm like, damn, you're really your dad. Like, he just said, like, I'm my dad. He's cute.
He got explosive farts too. He farts and you feel it through the diaper. I'm like,
you hear it. It's like, boop. And I'm like, whoa.
And it stinks. I'm like,
and
you
they
didn't even
stink.
eat anything. You
Yeah.
stink like shit.
I was like shook a little bit at the pediatrician because he was farting, and I was like, oh my God, they're gonna think I'm farting. Like it sounds like an adult fart. It sounds like I was ripping ass, and I was like, fuck, like whatever. I don't care. It's fine. It could be me. It could be me.
No, it's him.
Yeah. I don't know, man. American Chop Suey. This might be a new hitter in our house. This would be fire cold too. You know, leave it in the fridge, have like a cold pasta salad moment with it. I would do a lot with this.
So good. That is our episode this week. We love you guys. Thank you for all your support. There will be more Senna updates.
More baby updates.